Is he a racist?
He isn't a bad man, but I'm sure the guy who comes next will be better. So just give it some time.
Oh,
Well,
right.
actually,
Yeah,
I mean, Netanyahu's kind of been an out for these people because they're going to be like, well, Netanyahu, I obviously don't support Netanyahu, but I support the opposition.
Yeah, right?
Holds like most of Netanyahu's most odious opinions. Like, he's actually a perfect out for like a Cory Booker type of guy.
As is Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's the same thing. You get a buffoonish, comically corrupt, atavistic scumbag in charge, and then you get to dump all of the awfulness onto them personally and leave the state project that produced him, unscathed, even though he's the longest serving Israeli prime minister now with no sign of leaving, even though he's been indicted 500 times and his wife is trying to do passenger 67 shit to fucking airline pilots because they won't hello to her over the PA system. And they're just going to keep electing him because he doesn't think, because there is no and if he leaves, he will be replaced by somebody to his right. Absolutely there is no left in Israel anymore because the project isn't reconcilable with any kind of leftist political movement, and so they're just going to keep moving to the right, and because when you're fucking that committed to ethno states and militant like religio fascism, there is no alternative, and it's only going to get worse.
But particularly, like, there's no way out for the people who, like, as Felix, as you said, like, the people who are still holding out some vision of like liberal Zionism. That's done now, so they're going to try to.
Like, you might as well just learn Klingon. They have like the same application. It's such horseshit. It's never going to happen, pal.
All right, so Trump now declared himself savior of Israel and king of all Jews, who are also all Israelis.
Folks, not only is he the king of Jews, he's also the chosen one. We put these things together. There's only one explanation. He's the second coming, folks.
Or the Antichrist.
He's the precious baby Jesus.
I mean, as we know from, the Dr. Reverend Timothy LaHaye, the Antichrist will be a Jewish man.
Trump's true.
Trump.
Oh, they always get the high profile jobs. And I wonder whose fucking nephew he is to get to be the Antichrist.
Well, Jared is the Antichrist, is what I'm saying. No, Trump did say, "I'm the chosen one" at the press conference today. And by the way, he was in the Rose Garden. The press assembled outside. Another incredible standing technique from Trump. We were talking about. He's like leaning forward at such an angle, like we said, it looks like he's on the bow of a ship. It's like, crashing into waves.
He's
maybe off the coast of Greenland.
He's Michael Jackson in the Smooth Criminal video.
And I said, I think he uses the same sort of like steel reinforced shoes that Michael Jackson and his dancers did to do the Smooth Criminal lean.
And we all know why he does it. It's to disguise it. It's the same reason that he wears the giant long ties. It's to disguise his gut. Because in his mind, he's not fat. Other people are fat and disgusting. But
like he told that guy in New Hampshire.
Exactly.
He was like,
even though he's
fatso.
a big fat tub. So he leans forward so the gut is less visible. But today he was leaning, it was like a 45-degree angle. And when you consider how top heavy he is, I mean, I don't think anyone has ever seen his leg. Or no, there's that picture of him playing tennis in the shorts. His legs are just these very sad, stringy, pale things. How they're holding up his bulk at that angle without him falling over, I do not understand. Yeah. It's a miracle. It's like how fucking bumblebees fly, even though physically it's not supposed to be possible.
Yeah, like Trump is like he used to like brag about his like athletic exploits more. He famously said he was at one point the best baseball player in New York. But like that actually is an amazing athletic feat.
Yeah, for a man his age and carriage.
I don't think, like, for an entire press conference, I don't think I could stand like that. And you add, like, 60 pounds of girth to the top. And at, like, how old is he now?
73.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. He, like, I guess.
It's like how, they say that mothers get superpowers to pull cars off of their kids. He gets superpowers in his effort to not look fat.
But that's the most amazing part is it doesn't even work because you just look at him and you're like, that fat guy's standing really weirdly. It doesn't hide his head or anything.
No, he just looks like a Macy's Thanksgiving float balloon who's like listing to port. Like one of the guys holding like the left wire dropped it.
Oh fuck!
And so
the Pink Panther is crashing into Central Park West. All right, let's get to my favorite one over the last couple days. I'm just going to read it. My proposal to the politically correct automobile companies would lower the average price of a car to consumers by more than $3,000, while at the same time making cars substantially safer. Engines would run smoother. Very little impact on the environment. Foolish executives. So let's begin with the phrase politically correct automobile companies. The PC auto industry in America.
A lot of people were baffled by this, and I was absolutely floored because I was like, where did this even come from? But he had a few other tweets since then later that clarified it, and that's often the way it works.
Yes.
So we're able to piece together what he meant was he's talking about CAFE standards. He's talking about the fact that even though he really wants to lower emission standards.
What's up? This is where Felix Virgil used to work?
For vehicles.
He wants their articles.
The company.
He's trying to purchase the Diggler archive.
I want to hear Pete Bahara's podcast.
So, of course, because he's a black pill, brain dead smog monster, like a villain from fucking Captain Planet episode.
No, the Fern Gully creature.
He wants to get rid of the Obama era CAFE standards so that we can all just choke to death even faster in carbon monoxide, or carbon dioxide and monoxide and all of them, all the carbons. Folks, we love the carbon, don't we? I want to kiss it. So the Detroit automakers, he kind of was assuming that we would love this. They'd be like, "Thank you, you're bringing the jobs back once again." But the problem for them is that California is one of the biggest markets for automobiles in the United States, as it should be, biggest state we have. And they have very stringent CAFE standards, and they're not changing them. So it actually doesn't make sense it doesn't help the auto industry to have those standards changed nationally, because even if they did that and ignored the standards nationwide, it would mean they couldn't sell those cars in California. So they're kind of in a bind. And presumably he talked to somebody who explained this to him, and that got him very mad. Because damn political correctness and the California crazies are stopping us from having cars that would be cheaper and safer if they didn't have these damn high standards. And someone told him that it cost $3,000 to make the cars more efficient. And that, of course, is what lodged in his head. And so now he's thinking, I can just appeal to the people. Folks, don't you want to pay $3,000 less for your vehicle? It'll be amazing. We get the car. It's the $3,000 less dollars. Don't you want that, folks? And then we can all die together.
Another follow-up to this, he said, the legendary Henry Ford and Alfred P. Sloan, the founders of Ford Motor Company and General Motors, are, quote, rolling over. He put rolling over in quotation marks.
For some amazing reason.
Henry Ford is rolling over at the weakness of our current car company executives willing to spend more money on a car that is not or safe or good and costs $3,000 more to consumers. Crazy. And what I like about that is Henry Ford and his was it Dearborn Weekly are certainly rolling over about a few other things in American culture that I think we just talked about briefly on this show.
Yeah, anti-Semitism on the left.
Yeah, I communed with Henry Ford via Ouija board, and he is appalled by the statements of Representative Taleb and Omar.
Actually,
I like how I think I did this. Now we all do it. We've been calling her Representative Taleb, which would be awesome if Nassim Taleb was in Congress.
What the hell is it then?
Tlaib.
Oh, I can't.
Okay.
I can't do that.
Tlaib?
Oh God, you see the way they treat me here.
I respect.
I swear to God, our producer is Irish.
It's more work than I can handle with my mouth.
All right.
Another interesting factoid about Henry Ford, in addition to widely distributing the Protocols of the Elders of Zion and the International Jew.
Well, he did say, like, redistribution, it doesn't equal an endorsement. He was just like, hey, I thought there was some interesting stuff in here. Thoughts?
He was also sort of horrified by his own invention, like the sort of mass production and marketing of cars to the American public, because he was also a horrendous prude and square and he was terrified that the automobile would give teenagers like a sort of private space to have it away and canoodle with one another outside of the home and the sort of strictures of family courtship. And you know what? He was right, and he's rolling over at the television program Euphoria. Very bad. But Matt, you're right. It's just someone said came up with the number $3,000.
Yeah.
And that's in his head now.
See, but the part of it that baffled me, because that makes sense. They told him that's how much it costs. That's how much it costs to keep them energy efficient and emissions efficient. And the thing that I'm getting in my head is that we can make them safer, and the engines will drive smoother. I guess he thinks that the only reason that our vehicles are not these perfect, cheap, safe, cool vehicles is because of our damn PC police telling us we can't belch carbon into the atmosphere as much as we want.
And again, it's like, way too late for it now, but honestly, we should be getting rid of cars entirely.
Yes, no.
We should be getting rid of all like private automobile ownership and use.
Tomorrow.
No, cars fucking suck.
I mean, they kill tens of thousands of people.
Forget all the externalities about fucking climate change or whatever, and the way that they absolutely demolish cities and make them unlivable.
They make cities unlivable, yeah.
Is that they kill thousands of people a year, not just in car crashes, but from emissions, from like the actual emissions from them.
Also, leaded gasoline was probably taking lead out of gasoline is probably like more responsible for like the drop in crime and violence in this country and over the last
than any other single factor. Yes, absolutely.
Anything else?
No, absolutely.
People like still sort of hold on to cars because it's like this illusion of control you have.
Remember we read that Jeff Jacoby thing about how much he loves driving his car and how like bus and bike lanes make him angry because he's like, I'm a little captain. I'm the captain in my car. I can take it wherever I want.
Yeah, I mean, but if you just like told people or like gave people like a budget or like a tax break or something where they could build a little room where they could also be pissed and listen to Five Finger Death Punch, like it would accomplish the same thing. But I don't know. Yeah, it is a form of psychosis that like you really don't have control over that much in your life, but you're like, duh, technically I could do something that could kill everybody.
You don't even really have control over a fucking car.
No, you don't. You don't.
Cars killing the country, killing the planet. Let's make them better. Let's make more of them. So I guess like here's where I'm going with the dipstick. We're going up his nasal cavity like a fucking ice pick lobotomy. We're just gonna tap it with that little medical hammer right here. But here's where I'm going with this. This is what we realize is that like I feel like I think you said this when we were on the train, or Chris, maybe you did. We are going to be thinking about Donald Trump from every day from now until we die, probably.
Yep.
Long after he's dead. And let's be honest, he will probably live to be 120 years old.
For sure.
I mean, he's lived this fucking long. He's definitely going to live another 30 or 40 years.
Oh,
for
indeed.
Sure. We're going to be thinking about him forever. And there's no escape now.